Hello.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Hello.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Thank y'all for your patience. We're working through some things on the back end, and we are ready to go. So I will introduce myself briefly. I'm Erin Johnson. I'm Vice President for Community Investment here at Central Carolina Community Foundation, and I'm happy to be joining you all today. And we'll turn it over to let Aaliyah introduce herself, and then we'll let Chantrell introduce herself, and then we'll get going.
Hi, everyone. My name is Aaliyah Scott, and I am the Communications Specialist here at Central Carolina Community Foundation. I'm a little over 2 months into this new role, and I'm really excited to be here and work with all of y'all.
Hi, everyone. My name is Chantrell. I'm a Community Investment Associate here at the Foundation, and I'm also responsible for Midland Gives and Gives 828.
Hello, I'm Deborah Breedlove. That's my husband there. I'm trying to get my picture on. I don't know how to do it, but I'm with the Auntie Karen Foundation on the board.
All right, we're going to go ahead and get started since we're starting late. By a show of hands, how many people participated in Black Philanthropy Month last year? We have one. Okay. Okay, we only have one person, but that's okay though. That's okay. So I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about Black Philanthropy Month. So Black Philanthropy Month is basically raising awareness about Black giving and philanthropy throughout the Black community. It's always celebrated in the month of August. And this year's theme is Love in Action. Essentially, philanthropy means the love of man. And we express our love through men by action, by giving financially or giving time to our community. What is Give 828? So Give 828 promotes financial giving for Black-led and Black benefiting organizations in our community. So we do have some historical events that happened on August 28th. Emmett Till died August 28th. The March on Washington, where Martin Luther King gave his famous I Have a Dream speech. Hurricane Katrina made landfall in New Orleans on August 28th, and Barack Obama also accepted the Democratic nomination for president. So next, we're going to talk about what is Central Carolina doing, our promotion plan for Give 828 and Black Philanthropy Month.
Okay, so the Midlands Gives platform will be activated August 1st through August 31st for giving. As far as what we're doing for communications and marketing on the public relations side, we'll be releasing 2 press releases. We'll be working with our agency Riggs partners to help us with that. On August 1st, we'll release a press release announcing the month, and September 1st, we'll release a press release recapping the month and the results from the giving initiatives. We'll also work with our AAPC committee member to create an op-ed, which will hopefully be picked up by a media outlet. Some in-house things that we'll be doing. We're working on a printed quarterly newsletter that will go out at the end of July. There is a save the date in that. We'll also be sending out an e-newsletter. It's going to be our general newsletter to constituents this month at the end of the month. And there will be a call to action to get involved. We'll be sending a standalone email at the beginning of August, basically explaining what Black Philanthropy Month and Give 828 is and how to get involved. And a standalone email on August 28th to remind people to give. And then at the end of the month, we'll do a general newsletter, which will include some media mentions for nonprofits that participated in the initiative, as well as if we have the results by then the results, but if not, then we'll send something out in September. So I'll skip to digital advertising. We're going to be working with As Told By. They're a storytelling agency to create a Black Philanthropy Month Give 828 awareness video. This will be a sponsored post on our social media platforms. From those interviews, we'll be doing 3 interviews, one with Chantrell Mitchell, who will represent Central Carolina Community Foundation, one with a member from the AAPC, and a nonprofit in Orangeburg, hopefully. And so we'll take photos of the different stakeholders and also share those on our social media accounts. We'll also be including a mini article in COLA Today. We'll do a banner in COLA Today closer to the giving day, closer to Give 828. And then we'll be reaching out to radio stations for in-kind donations. Hopefully the gospel channels is what we're kind of aiming for. And as far as prizes go, there at the moment is currently $12,000 available for prizes. If you are interested in speaking with a media organization, news outlet, we're going to be sending a link in the group message or the group chat. Looks like it's already in there. Please fill the form out and we will share that with Briggs Partners and hopefully have some people reach out to you during the month.
So we do have a page on our your foundation about Black Philanthropy Month and what we're doing for nonprofits. If you click that link right there, it will be dropped in the chat. You can see more details about what we're doing for Black Philanthropy Month and Give 828. We're going to do a tour of Midlands Gives. Erin, did you want to do that tour of Midlands Gives to show?
Yeah, let me, I'm gonna say a few things first. So, I mean, just kind of backing up a little bit around Give 828 and the Community Foundation, and I think we threw around some acronyms. I want to make sure you kind of know what that is. So, Central Carolina Community Foundation has been a partner with the Give 828 and Black Philanthropy Month movement for several years now. And we have an African American Philanthropy Committee that is made up of community members that care about and love this community and really care and love on Black-led and Black benefiting nonprofits. Just to clarify what the definition of Black-led, Black benefiting is, it's organizations that the majority of your clients identify as African American, Black, or of African descent. It's the majority of your board also identifies as African American, and 50% or more of your executive staff and or your executive director identify as African American or of African descent. So that's sort of the definition of Black-led and Black benefiting. And on your profile on Midlands Gives, ideally you've identified if those things are true about you, your organization, so therefore you're sort of identified as a Black-led, Black benefiting nonprofit. So several years ago, we did partner with sort of the founders of Black Philanthropy Month and Give 828. And in the last couple of years, we've really been promoting Midlands Gives as a way for people to give, our community to give during the month of August to honor Black giving, Black philanthropists, but also organizations that are Black-led and Black benefiting. And so to go along with that, we've sort of done a mini Midlands Gives Day. And most of you participated in Midlands Gives Day before, but this is a very scaled down version of that, which is why we're going to talk about 5 weeks of planning versus 10. And it's a smaller version of that. There's a smaller number of organizations as well. We have about 166 organizations on our site currently that identify as Black-led, Black benefiting. And so that's really sort of our target audience for this, for the month of August. To give you an idea of scale, because you're like, well, how many people are we talking? So 2 years ago, we really kind of honed in on sending people to midlandsgives.org. And that's why Aaliyah sort of talked to you about the work we're going to be doing on our end with promotion, with media, with our donors, getting the word out the same way we do with Midlands Gives Day. We're going to be relying on you all to activate your donors as well, because we can only do so much, but you know your donors and thinking through what your role and what capacity you have to activate your donors to send them to midlandsgives.org during the month of August. Last year, we had 443 donations to organizations on our website during the month of August, and that in total up to, 443 donations by almost 300 donors. So, you know, about a third of them or so give to more than one organization while they're there. And so we are sort of duplicating some of the activities we've done in the past, which is prizes. We know that people are motivated by prizes, right? People like to give if it might help the organization win a prize. And so we'll go over that here later, but our African American Philanthropy Committee has increased the amount they've given in prizes over the years. 3 years ago, it was $3,000. Last year, it was $10,000 in prizes, and this year it's $12,000. And we're actively looking for other sponsors to help us provide other prizes as well to your organization to help motivate your donors to give. So just wanted to kind of give you a big picture of that and how we got here and why we ask that you're here. And then we'll spend the rest of the day just reminding you about Midlands Gives, the site, but also kind of going through a 5-week plan that really could help you sort of, organize yourself and get things going to really culminate on August 28th, the big day of giving, to really hopefully kind of push your donors there at the end of the month. So I want to just kind of remind you again of midlandsgives.org. And so Chantrell's going to share the screen just to take us back to the actual website so you remember what that is and where things are found. So you can, yeah, there you go. So right now the website is in our everyday sort of mode, our year-round mode. On August 1, it's going to flip over to Give 828 mode. So those sliders you see there, it'll say August is Black Philanthropy Month. Click here to learn more about nonprofits, and that click will lead directly to the filter that will filter Black-led, Black benefiting nonprofits. So you'll see that kind of scrolling through. The top will look similar, except you will see under for nonprofits at the top. You just hover over that. There'll be an extra one that says prizes. So the prizes will be added to that. And again, we'll go over that here in a little bit. So again, if you just hover over those, it says give. That's the same way that you always give. People can browse a nonprofit, they can find fundraisers. The leaderboard, which is always a fun thing to watch. Now, come August, it'll switch over and just show you August total. And so just as a FYI, that'll be any organization that receives a donation during August. As a reminder, some of our organizations have recurring donations. So you might see some organizations that are not Black-led, Black benefiting, but that's okay. Those are just organizations that are getting donations during the month of August. So you'll see everybody on the leaderboard. About Midlands Gives is just the regular who we are, what we do. The for nonprofits, which I think is going to be really helpful for you all. And you'll see again, the prizes will be added in the nonprofit FAQs and resource hub, which I'd like to take us to now briefly, just so you can see what's on there. This has a whole lot of information that's very helpful, and I really want to say Chantrell's done a great job of really pulling out information that's helpful for you all. And I know it says a 10-week strategy, but if you scroll down, and we could probably add a button at the top to make it easier. You'll see there that there's a 10-week checklist. So that's the big Midlands Gives day. If you got 10 weeks to put into it, good for you. Great, do it. And then on the right is the 5-week checklist, which is what we'll go over today when you have a sort of a truncated time. And so we'll go over that here. And we can also drop the link in too, so y'all can follow along with us, which will probably be good. Chantrell, if you don't mind, just copy that link and we'll send it over, put it in the chat. And then the other thing is a strategy workbook, and that will be something we will reference for you, because you'll see on the checklist, it might say something like develop a goal for the giving day. And if you need a little bit more information like what that means and how to do that, the strategy workbook really goes through a whole process on how you can do that, how you can develop your goal or segment your donors, right? It'll give you a whole process on that. And also to remind you, the strategy workbook has templates like thank you letter templates. It has templates on, how to encourage your donors, like some emails you can send, those kind of things. So I encourage you to use that for a little bit more in-depth information. And the checklist is just an easy, quick way to look at it to help you kind of keep organized. So hopefully that's a good overview of sort of what we're talking here, and we'll reference the site a little bit more as we go. But just want to make sure you know that most of the resources you need are going to be under for nonprofits and then Resource Hub. Any questions about the site or anything I've talked about so far? You can come off mute, it's fine. There's not a whole lot of us, and it's okay if you have any questions. Okay, we'll keep going then.
So the call to action for nonprofits. So we're going to briefly go over the 5-week checklist. So these are things that you can be doing to prepare for Give 828 in that Black Philanthropy Month. So in week 1, we want to make sure that you add Give 828 to your board and your staff calendars. We want to make sure that everybody knows what day it is. Give 828 Giving Day will be from August 28th to the 30th. And we will announce prizes on September 1st. And next, you're going to schedule a meeting with your staff to assign and your volunteers to help with your campaign. So basically, you're going to establish your team. When you're establishing your team, you want to determine who in your organization can help you achieve your goals. So basically, you want to give tasks to staff or volunteers based on their strength, time, and availability. That's really important since we have 10 weeks for Mentalist Gives, and now this is a 5-week. We want to make sure we're giving our best tasks to the people who can execute them to the time that we need. And next, we're going to develop measurable fundraising goals. So when you're talking about measurable fundraising goals, there's 2 questions you want to ask yourself. One is, what is your overall goal of your campaign? Sometimes your goal is more than just financial. You want to make, your goal can be reaching new donors, it can be retaining previous donors, it can increase visibility, and improving your social media presence. And it also could include increasing engagement with your current donors. And your second question that you want to ask yourself is, how do you plan to reach your goal, your strategy? How do you plan to reach the goal that you set in the first question? Sometimes your strategy can be, if you want to say, I want to increase new donors, your strategy will be to increase your social media presence or maximize the fundraising phrases that you can create for your staff can create, or your board members can create. Other things you want to consider when determining your goals is to determine the number of new donors and participants you have from your previous Mentalist Gives campaign, because you also want to go off previous activity in your debriefing from Mentalist Gives. Next, you want to establish overall fundraising goals based on that data from Mentalist Gives. You want to do segmented participation goals, so you may want to divide your goals up based on your donors, like your young donors, your lapsed donors, and your current donor list. You also want to determine how you will measure your goals. You want to make sure you have a measurable goal, because you really don't know how well you did if you can't measure that goal. Also, you want to ask yourself what tools, resources you will be using to help you reach that goal. And also determine if social media can help you reach that goal, because I know sometimes with a smaller nonprofit, we don't have this capacity to do a whole social media campaign. So if you reach your donors by email list, use your email list to communicate with your donors. You don't have to use social media. And also a good last question would be, how can your board help you reach your goals? Because the importance of your board is to help communicate with the communities that you do have a good nonprofit organization that is helping the community. And we want to make sure our board is involved with getting that key message out. So in week 2, early giving will start August 1. So August 1, you can go ahead, we will be accepting donations for Give Day 28, which will count toward prizes. And next, you want to develop your social media communication plan. When developing your communication plan, make sure you are asking yourself those 2 questions: what is your goal, and how will you reach your goal? And make sure your communication plan is lining up with those goals. There are 4 types of content that you can use with your communication plan. You can use educational content, which is teaching your followers something about a specific topic. You can do inspirational content, which makes the audience think. You can ask them a question. Connection, which shows how your organization is making a difference in the community. And conversation, which is content that asks your audience questions and wants their idea or an opinion about a particular topic. So when you're creating your communications plan, keep some things in mind. You want to make sure you're being authentic across social media or your email list. Make sure to be you. You don't want to look like you're copying anybody else. You want to make sure you use a call to action when you're creating a content. So if you're creating a social media post, you might want to say, click the link in my bio to donate to my organization. Or if you have an email that you're sending out to your donors, you want to make sure you say, click the link below in the email. Just take you straight to our Mentalist Gives page to donate. You also want to include pictures and videos of what you have going on and what your nonprofit is doing in the community. So versus you want to put that on your Mentalist Gives profile, which you can, you will have until August 20th to update your Mentalist Gives profile if you do want to update your pictures and videos for that. And it will go on lockdown on August 21 to September 11th. So you can do your pictures and videos on your Mentalist Gives profile. You can add them to your email list, and you can also use them on social media. And like I said before, it is okay to have one social media platform. Again, if you don't have the capacity to post to all 3 or 4 social media platforms, it's okay. If you just have an email list, just use your email list. And also you want to use hashtags if you're using social media, because we are looking at your social media posts and we love to repost what you have going on social media, especially if you have events that you're taking pictures of. So make sure you use our hashtag to let us know what's going on. So in week 3, you will be implementing your communication plans. Whatever you had set up, you strategize with your staff and volunteers. This will be the week that you'll start sending out those key messages to your donors. Again, make sure to remember to use the hashtag Give828 and tag PCCF in all of your social media posts so we can repost them. And if you look in the slideshow, those are our social media handles for Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. So in week 4, you do want to encourage your board staff members to create fundraiser page. Erin, can you please drop the link for how to create a fundraiser page? The link that Erin will drop will show you step-by-step with pictures on how to create a fundraiser page. When creating those fundraiser pages, you can send out a template that you want your staff or your board or people in your donor list can use it to make sure that your key message that you want to hold is aligned with your organization. Also, make sure you confirm your staff roles and volunteer roles throughout Give828, which is very important. Make sure everybody knows what they have to do for that week, and just continue to keep posting on social media and sending out email blasts.
Kendra, can we talk a minute about fundraiser pages?
Yes.
So fundraiser pages are something that about 30 to 40% of our nonprofits do during Midlands Gives Day. It is a pretty helpful strategy. If you have people who support your organization, love your organization, and have a decent social media following. And hopefully you all know at least one person who's good about social media and has good friends and doesn't mind saying, hey, can y'all help support this group I care about? So what this is almost like, Facebook. You guys probably remember this from Midlands Gives Day, just a reminder. It's almost like the Facebook fundraisers, or when you see somebody who says, for my birthday, I'd like you guys to donate to this organization on my behalf, those kind of things. And so this is a really helpful way to ask your donors to help raise additional funds for you. And in today's little world, it's kind of, it's not a hard ask anymore to say to your friends, hey, can you give $10 to this organization I care about, or more, this organization I care about? Here's the link, and this is why I care about it. Fundraiser pages are very easy to set up. And if you want to walk your board through it, walk your staff through it, you can set up one yourself for your organization if you want to post that on social or anything like that. But we really encourage y'all to use those. It's a really good way to leverage and amplify the message of your organization. Say you have, 200 followers on Facebook, for example. But if you have a friend who is willing to create a fundraiser page for you, all of their followers then also see that same message. And so that's something I really encourage y'all to think about, how to use that as a strategy. And if someone needs some help on how to set that up, you really can walk them through it. It takes less than 5 minutes, I promise, less than 5 minutes to set that up. And you can provide any support for them. And you also then are able to approve it or not. So if it's somebody that you're like, I don't know who this is, or the fundraiser page is not well designed, you don't have to approve it to be posted onto your site, onto your profile. But that's something I really, really encourage y'all to think about. And there's a prize that's associated with it as well, just FYI. So that's why I wanted to make sure you had a good understanding of what the fundraiser pages were. Does anyone have questions about that, about what those are and how to use them? Okay. You guys are a quiet group. I think maybe you're all eating lunch.
So in week 5, which is the week before Give828, just remind your boards of Give828 is coming up, and your volunteer and staff of the roles that you have assigned to them. You want to continue to keep posting on social media and sending out your email to your donor list, and just make sure you repost content that we also set out on social media. So Giving Day. So Giving Day, again, is August 28th through the 30th. So make sure the morning of, you want to send out email reminders to your donor list of, hey, today is Give828. Make sure, don't forget to donate to us today. You can post frequent updates on social media. So if you have a goal that you want to raise $500 and a milestone for you may be a $100 increment, just post that you raised your first milestone of $100 and then you raise your $200. That way you can give your donors updated that you are raising the money. Again, to make sure you use the hashtag Give828. And make sure you check on your donor data throughout the day. So when you log into your Midlands Give profile, on the top section, it does have My Donations. Those are your donor lists that you can just go ahead and send out thank you messages in real time, even if it's a phone call or a quick email. Donors do love when you say thank you to them. It means a lot to them.
They don't just love it. It really is a necessary part of fundraising, and I hope that you all recognize that. It's really something that needs to be done. If someone gives you money, you need to say thank you. And so we say that, and I know you guys are like, this is a broken record. Stop telling me this. I can't believe someone wouldn't say thank you. But we are on the receiving end of that, where donors say, hey, I never heard from that organization after I gave to them. So we really, really encourage you to be proactive in saying thank you, whether that, however you say you do that, but making sure that the person receives it is going to be really important for that. So thanks.
So on post Give 828, like Aaron just said, make sure you do send your thank you letters and your notes to your donors. If you send it out earlier, which is great, that's fine, but you can also send it out again if you want to. We will send out a post survey about Give 828, so please make sure you fill out the survey so we can get data and information of what you like, what you didn't like, and what things we can change too. And make sure you debrief after Give 828. You want to analyze all of your staff and volunteers' roles and the impact of the campaign. You want to measure the goals that you set for your campaign to see whether you, if you did have a successful campaign or not, and just use the data to help you plan for your next fundraising campaign. You should be doing this with every fundraiser campaign that you do have. Make sure you always debrief so you know what you did right, what you did wrong, and what you can improve on.
So these things are kind of nice to do, but not necessarily have to do. But we encourage you to find which of these makes sense for your organization. And the first one is, we encourage you all to go on to midlandsgives.org and look at your organization's profile and make sure that it's updated, make sure it's accurate. I say this because just last week, I had a donor who was asking questions about some of our nonprofits, and they happen to be Black-led, Black benefiting nonprofits that I was researching for them, and I was going to send them some information. And I went on to Midlands Gives profile, and 2 of the 4 organizations that I looked at had their website wrong. It was typos that could have easily been fixed. But you got to go in and check all of those things. Now, I was being nice and I went into your profiles for you and fixed it, just so you know. But that's not always the case, right? It's going to really frustrate a donor if they go to a link, for example, and it's a dead link, it's not accurate, or if they try to make a phone call and you're not there, if there's typos in your profile, those kind of things. So just take a look at it, make sure everything's still updated. It's also important to go on the back end, make sure your contact person is updated. I know some of you have had staff changes, or it's a new fiscal year, so it's a new volunteer who's overseeing it. So make sure all that information is accurate, because that's how we're communicating with you as well. We hate for you to miss information because the contact person has changed or something like that. So please do it takes 5 minutes. Go in, update that. If you need some help, let Chantel or myself know to try to update your profile, but make sure that's done, ideally before August 1, but as Chantel mentioned, after August 21, it's going to be locked down, so you can't make any changes to it for 3 weeks there. So try to make sure you do it before then. The other thing that I want to mention is the strategy workbook, which I did talk about a little bit earlier when we talked about the Midlands Gives website. You don't have to do everything beginning to end, but there are some things that are going to make life a little bit easier for you. So kind of do a quick review of that if you have the time to see what information is helpful and you can take and you can use. You can transplant, copy and paste, those kind of things. So just making sure that you take a quick look at that and see if there's any helpful tips or templates that can be used to make things a little bit easier for you. I also encourage you to develop a prize and matching gift strategy. We'll talk a little bit about prizes here in a minute, but you might have a donor who's willing to offer a match. And some of you have already indicated that. You can do that again during this Giving Day, during the month of August. You can enter in a match that you might have. If your board, for example, comes together and wants to do a match, that they'll match every donation dollar for dollar for the first $1,000 or whatever that is. Please go in and put that in. I think Chantal also mentioned that you can go into your profile and enter in what your goal is. If you have a monetary goal, you can enter that in and you can monitor that on your dashboard. But also think through if any of these prizes make sense for your organization. What is your strategy now? And tell people what your strategy is. So if they know it, they can help you do it. People like to help you achieve more. So thinking through what, you don't have to win a prize, it certainly would be nice, right? So thinking through what your prize strategy might be, or if you have a donor who's willing to offer a matching gift. And the last thing is design and develop personalized digital or print marketing materials. You certainly don't have to. That's a nice little value add if you have a staff person or a volunteer who has the time and capacity to do some more personalized things where it's not just Give 828, but it might be your organization who's doing that. Thinking through what your personalized message might be. You know, Give 828 is a nice extension of, you know, buy Black, eat Black, give Black. So thinking through what might be something that you want to do that's personalized for your organization and for the messages you want to send out as well. So those are some things that you can think through that I encourage you to think, is that something, some of the additional work that you have the time and capacity to do for your organization. So last but not least, I want to make sure you know what the different prizes are that are being offered. Again, we're hoping that we might have some additional ones, but for now, this is it. And we're happy that we have 12,000 available for nonprofits. There are 3 different prizes, and if you participate in Millen's Gives Day, these probably look somewhat familiar. The first one is the Board Leadership Prize. It's being offered by our AAPC, or the African American Philanthropy Committee. We have 4 $1,000 prizes, and those are awarded to a Black-led and Black benefiting nonprofit that's randomly drawn if you have a board member who gave during the month of August. So we really encourage you to tell your board members, please go on and give. Go on to Midlands Gives Day, midlandsgives.org, search your organization, give to it, and make sure at checkout they click, I am a board member for this organization. If they do that, they enter your organization into a pool or a random drawing. And every time that one of your board members does, now it has to be a unique one. They can't keep going back every day and giving, because they're one unique one. But any board member that goes on and gives, that enters your organization into a drawing. And so I encourage you to say to your board, hey, this is what we need from you. Just go on and give during the month of August, and you can help us possibly win a prize, $1,000 prize at that. The second one is AAPC, again, is doing a fundraising page prize. We really want to encourage you all to encourage your donors to help you raise money. So finding, you know, someone who can create a fundraiser page for you, and this is to leverage peer-to-peer giving, right? So any fundraiser page that raises at least $100, that organization that they're raising for is entered into a random drawing. We have 3 $1,000 prizes as well for anyone who creates a fundraiser page that raises $100. Again, the prize goes to the organization, not the individual. Okay. And then the last one there is the Investing for Impact prize, and that really is just to amplify 10 organizations that receive the most, that have the most unique donors. So last year that number was a little bit smaller, so we're happy to be able to provide it to the 10 organizations that have the most donors during the month of August, get an additional $500. Now, just so some little caveats here. Your organization has to have at least 5 donations to be eligible for prizes. So at least 5 people who believe and care about your organization in this community, you have at least 5 donations to be eligible for any of the prizes. You also, an organization can win only one randomly drawn prize. So the Board Leadership Prize or the fundraising page, you can only win one of those, because we want to make sure that people don't get, you know, too much of the pot. So you can win one of those randomly drawn, but you can also win the most unique donors. So that's not, so the 2 random drawn ones, you can only win one of those. Again, the prize goes to the organization, not to the donor. It's important to recognize as well. So those are sort of the caveats that are important to remember for our prizes. And I'll drop the link in, I'll find the link real quick. Oh, here it is. I'll give you the link to make sure that you can see it. It will go live on August 1, but just so you have it, so you can maybe sort of star this one so you have it available, so you can always find the prizes, so you can get your board and your partners and everybody else ready. Again, fundraiser pages are something that you yourself can set up as well, and other staff members and volunteers too. Does anybody have any questions about the prizes that are available to the nonprofit? Okay. Are there any questions then overall for what all we've covered? I know it's been a bit, and hopefully we don't go through it too fast, but I know most of y'all participate in Midlands Gives Day, so a lot of this shouldn't be too new for you. But we can stop screen sharing and open it up if anyone has any questions. And I see Ms. Breedlove came off of mute.
Yeah, I do have a question. I just got this memo yesterday. So I am really excited to see if Auntie Karen, and I'll check with the board. We don't meet in the month of August, but we'll see if we can do that. I might need a lot of hand holding. Hope you don't mind. but this looks like a really wonderful effort. And we touch a lot of people over the last 20 years now. So this would just be another tool that we could use for fundraising, I think. So who do I call first?
Chantrell is really the expert here. So she's the one that I
Okay.
would reach out to. You can actually email midlandsgives.org, midlandsgives@yourfoundation.org. That's actually Chantrell, or else you can email her directly. And we can drop both those email addresses into the chat. But she'd be the one you can chat with. And just so you know, Ms. Breedlove, Auntie Karen Foundation has done Give 828 before, so she might have some good information already that she can recycle. That could be helpful. But you guys have done a good job in raising funds before during the month of August.
Great. Okay, so from the chat, I can get that information, or can somebody email something to me separately? Would be great.
I just drop both of my email addresses in the chat for you.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. Thank you.
Anybody else have any questions, comments, something to consider, something that worked well for you all in the past that you might want to share with others? That's one of the things we're also going to open it up to, since we're a little bit ahead of schedule. If there's anything that you want to share that you thought has gone well for your organization in the past, we don't see this as competition. I think that rising tides lifts all boats, right? So if there's anything you want to share with others, it would be great as well.
Hey, Aaron, can you hear me?
We can.
All right, this is Shanika from the Safe Organization. I just had one quick question. Is the slide deck going to be shared with us, or the recording?
Yes,
Because I would like to present this to my board, and I think the way that you all are explaining it is a clear way for us to do this as a fundraiser.
Yeah, that'd be absolutely. We'll be happy to share this for sure with anyone that registered, and we'll share that for you. Yes.
It will be under the For Nonprofit page on the Midlands Gives website under training.
You'll post the recording there.
I will post the recording and the slideshow there.
Yeah. Thank you, Ivy Heritage. You all do a great job as well every August, so we're glad you're here. Anyone else have any questions then? Our African American Philanthropy Committee in particular is really excited about this work, and I appreciate that they continue to invest in it, and sort of advocating for additional prizes and all. So we're hoping that we continue to see a increase in the number of donors. That's really what we look at, the number of donors, but hopefully as well as that translates into additional dollars as well for you all. Well, if there are no more questions, I see somebody just came off. Terry, you just came off mute.
Yeah, I just I had posted a question in the chat about the eligibility of organizations to participate that have programs that serve a specific population, and we're looking to increase that. Was that make us ineligible or eligible? How does that work?
Great question. So technically everybody is able to participate because it's on the midlandsgives.org website, right? And we also know one of the things we say is that this is a month for Black-led, Black benefiting nonprofits, but it's also a month to honor Black philanthropists who do give to any organization that that they feel called to give to, whether that's food banks or health related, whatever that is. So it's open to any organization to participate during the month of August, because we want to be able to support our Black philanthropists as well as people who want to invest in the Black community. To be eligible for a prize, though, an organization does have to be Black-led, Black benefiting, meaning that it does have majority board, executive staff, and clients to identify as Black or African descent. Mm-hmm. Is that clear? Okay, good. Any other questions? And Chantrell, is there anything else we need to share before we say thank you for your time?
Well, that was about it.
Okay. Well, thank y'all for your time. If you do have any questions along the way, please let us know. There's a few call to actions, right? One is to complete the interview interest form if your organization is interested in being interviewed by the media, because we are sending out press releases, and oftentimes they say, we love you, Community Foundation. We also want to talk with people on the ground. Who are the nonprofits who are going to benefit from this? So if we have your organization and the contact person who already says, yes, I'm interested in being interviewed, so please complete that media interest interview form before the end of the month if you're interested in doing that. and then also go on and start, you know, that you can access the 5-week strategy plan, that you can start kind of ticking away at some of the tasks. Reach out to us anytime you have questions. We want you all to be a success. We want to help you leverage donors, and to identify new donors and keep those new donors and hopefully have them continue to give throughout the year. So anything we could do to help you with that, let us know. And as we get closer to the day, hopefully you'll be seeing more and more of us and we'll be able to stay in touch. But any questions you have, reach out to Chantrell. She's the expert in all of this. And we will hopefully be your partner here through the next month and a half. All right, thank y'all. We'll give you, you just got 12 minutes earned. So good job.